Formula One team principal Laurent Mekies is already making waves by disagreeing with none other than Max Verstappen himself, just weeks into the job. Following a nightmare weekend at the Hungarian Grand Prix, where Verstappen could only wrangle P8 in qualifying and trailed home in P9, the reigning champ didn't feel like sugarcoating their situation. In a rather blunt assessment, Verstappen declared that Red Bull may not see the top step of the podium again this season, effectively writing off their 2025 campaign. But Mekies isn't ready to throw in the towel just yet. His unexpected response has set the stage for a compelling internal tug-of-war at a team that's used to running like a well-oiled machine. It's been a far cry from the dominant form fans have come to expect. Verstappen has just 2 victories from the opening 14 races, with a trio of runner-up finishes offering little consolation. Once thought to be in the thick of a championship battle, he now finds himself a staggering 97 points adrift of McLaren's Oscar Piastri in the drivers' standings. With the championship slipping away, Red Bull appears to have reset its sights on salvaging a top 3 finish in the constructors' race, and perhaps snatching a win or two before the curtain falls. Still, when asked by Dutch media if he could bag another win this season, Verstappen flatly said no. Red Bull's woes this year have gone beyond Max. A season riddled with misfires, especially for second driver Yuki Tsunoda, prompted a seismic shake-up last month. Out went longtime team boss Christian Horner, and in came Laurent Mekies, tasked with steadying the ship. But while Verstappen may be sounding the alarm, Mekies is hitting a more hopeful note. The new team principal offered a far more optimistic take on the Milton Keynes squad's prospects when asked about his driver's gloomy forecast, making it clear that not everyone in the Red Bull garage is ready to give up the fight. It was a tough weekend. I don't think what you see this weekend represents where the car is at. We accept the fact that we are probably not very strong on tracks like here, but what we have seen today was outstanding. So, if you look, no question McLaren are faster, but look at Spa. Max was able to fight certainly on Saturday and surprise everyone in the sprint. So, let's see. The season is still very long. Even if car development is going to heavily slow down, or is pretty much going to be minimum from now on, we still have a lot of things we can learn, as this weekend showed. And through that, as difficult and as uncomfortable as it is, fundamentally you learn through these sorts of weekends. So better to have them early on. We will learn, and if we are able to extract a bit more of the car, thanks to weekends like today, then hopefully we can put up a better fight. Max Verstappen raised eyebrows after qualifying when he boldly claimed Red Bull wouldn't be winning another race this season. But, in true F1 fashion, he's already walked that back. Though he admits that success in the sport is a fickle thing that comes and goes. The 27-year-old's blunt remark didn't sit well with everyone, especially not with former Aston Martin strategist Bernie Collins. Speaking during the Sky Sports F1 broadcast, Collins took issue with Verstappen's downbeat take, suggesting it was unfair to the hard-working Red Bull engineers still pouring everything into the RB21. I don't think any driver says we're not going to win anything this year as a motivator to the team. That's pretty demotivating if I were an engineer. I think that would really hit you a little bit. Just 24 hours after his gloomy outlook, Max Verstappen struck a slightly different tone. Though it's fair to say, he wasn't exactly riding high on optimism. The reigning world champion crossed the line in 9th at the Hungarian Grand Prix, narrowly avoiding being lapped by race winner Lando Norris and McLaren teammate Oscar Piastri. Not exactly the kind of Sunday Verstappen's used to. Max Verstappen has tipped his cap to McLaren, insisting the team must be acknowledged for what he calls a staggering Formula One season, one that's left him staring down the barrel of his first failed title defense. While a 5th world title is still mathematically on the table, the odds are slipping further by the race. For Verstappen to pull off the impossible, McLaren's dynamic duo, Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris, would need a string of pointless disasters, and Red Bull would have to rediscover form that's been missing for months. At the Hungaroring, Red Bull was nowhere near the front-running pace, and Verstappen left the circuit openly questioning whether there are any more wins to squeeze out of the RB21 this year. When pressed again on whether he believes a third win is still on the cards for his 2025 campaign, he gave the media a more tempered, if not entirely hopeful, response. I don't know. After a weekend like this, it's very difficult to say. But you never know, there might always be surprises or whatever. And when asked point blank whether this season has turned out worse than he originally anticipated, Verstappen didn't hesitate. I just stay neutral in everything you know, so I don't become overly optimistic or pessimistic or whatever you know. So I was like, well, we'll see. I mean, I hope, of course, that we could still win some races here and there. And we still did that. We still won 2 races. But it is tough. But at the other end, you need to acknowledge that McLaren has done a fantastic job from last year to this year also, and then, from our side, it's been a bit more difficult. It's not a surprise, of course, if you look at the problems that we are having. I think for like 4 years, I've had really a lot of good results, right? So it comes and goes, success. This season has seen a shake-up across F1's top teams, with fresh faces stepping into the spotlight. Red Bull welcomed Yuki Tsunoda, Ferrari paired Charles Leclerc with 7-time champ Lewis Hamilton, and Mercedes handed the keys to rookie sensation Kimi Antonelli. But so far, the new recruits have found the going tough, none more so than Tsunoda. The Japanese driver has managed just 7 points since donning Red Bull colours, while Max Verstappen has racked up a commanding 126 points in the same stretch. Red Bull advisor Helmut Marko hasn't minced words about the situation. In a candid interview with Krone, he declared that all 3 teams are feeling the weight of underperforming second drivers. But Red Bull, he says, is carrying the heaviest burden. With 10 races to go, Marko is doubtful they'll even manage to hold on to second in the Constructors' standings. Second place in the Constructors' Championship is not realistic because Yuki scores points too rarely. We are fighting for third place with Mercedes. The second driver is also a handicap for Ferrari with Hamilton and for Mercedes with Antonelli. Ferrari currently holds a firm grip on second place in the Constructors' standings, with 260 points, 24 clear of Mercedes, while Red Bull trails another 42 points behind. And the stat that stings is that Max Verstappen has contributed all but 7 of Red Bull's points this season. That harsh reality has cast a long shadow over Yuki Tsunoda's future in the team. While Helmut Marko has insisted Tsunoda will remain in the second RB21 for the rest of the season, the seat for 2026 is anything but secure. According to Marko, Red Bull plans to sit down with outgoing engine partner Honda, who has long backed Tsunoda, for talks about the driver's future in the coming week. We don't usually talk about the drivers until the summer break, said the 82-year-old. Yuki has always been a Honda protege, and in the next We2K, we will talk to them and see which direction to take. Could this growing disconnect at the top signal deeper trouble for Red Bull and put their spot in the Constructors' top 3 at risk? Tell me what you think in the comments below. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to stay updated in the world of Formula One. Thanks for watching.